What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to episode 20 of the Daily Dose podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. The Epstein case comes out. There's no client list. It was a suicide. That's pretty crazy, guys. Live 2025. Conor McGregor is his WWE style promoter on Blowy, just having the time of his life. Mike Perry calls him out. He said, buddy, you will entertain me. You will fight when you're told. We have What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to episode 20 of the Daily Dose podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This podcast is sponsored by Jackpack LLC, all organically grown cannabis right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, as well as 1GM Construction. Tap in with them for all your roofing and construction needs. Let them know you heard it on the Daily Dose podcast for 10% off your services. Lots of stuff to go over, guys. Some great fights on Saturday night. The UFC card, the boxing card. Of course, we got some current events to go over. Let's get right into it. First, we'll go over the boxing card. Overall, I didn't pay attention to too many of the prelim fights. I couldn't really find it. I was trying to, of course, watch a stream of it. But, in the co-main event, Shakur Stevenson proved me and tons of people wrong. A lot of us thought that in that situation he would fold. He wouldn't be able to hang in there. Even up against the ropes, he did take some more punches than we usually see, but he was landing some great uppercuts. He was letting him come in there. I think he was doing that to kind of let Zepeda wear himself out. And when he stood and banged and walked him back down, man, that was a hell of a performance by Shakur Stevenson. Showed us a lot that we didn't know. The thing about it is, you can only critique people off their performances. It seems like he still kind of has to work on engaging if someone doesn't engage. But now we know if you want to walk him down and try and bang with him, you're in for a tough night. I did pick him to win. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I definitely didn't see it going that way. That was a hell of a performance, so shout out to him. And then in the main event, I called it Edgar Berlanga gets slept. I think that he's just way too overconfident. He's worried about Oscar De La Hoya. He's talking about all these future plans. He really didn't think that Buddy was going to do anything to him. Got knocked out. It happens in a lot of, even in UFC or other sports. Like Berlanga had 16 first round finishes, easy money, easy nights, right? And then as you get to that top 5, top 10, even, high prospects, you're going to start finding guys that aren't going to be able to get knocked out like that. And then these guys really struggle and they kind of lose their confidence. It just changes a lot of things, So pretty interesting to see. Like I said, I called that, and that's how it goes in the sport sometimes. Great fights in the UFC card as well out there in Nashville. I was right on a few. I missed a few. Overall, Steve Garcia put it on Calvin Kattar. Beautiful performance. If that was anybody else, they would have been out of there. But, of course, Calvin Kattar, he's a dog. He took it, but that was a beautiful performance. Gabriel Bonfim, I thought he would get it done being the younger guy. Not that great of a performance. I'm okay with you being the better grappler, wrestler, but if you just do it to hold position, you don't throw punches, you don't go for submissions, it's boring, man. This entertainment business. Also, damage should be a big thing in the new scorecard, so I thought you could have gave that to Wonderboy, being he was actually trying to do something. And in the main event, Derek the Black Beast Lewis knocks Buddy out, throws his pants off, throws his cup off, moons the crowd, calls the president in Nashville. I don't think it gets more American than that. That was a beautiful performance. Guys, anybody who fights Derek Lewis should know that he's not hurt. He's going to do that pretend. He's done it with the nut shots, the eye pokes, and then he knocks people out. You guys should know better. Beautiful to see Derek Lewis. How dare you guys disrespect him like that? He was an underdog. Everybody was counting him out. I'm not saying the guy isn't that good. He's like 25 or 26. That was his second UFC fight. Pump your brakes, buddy. Derek Lewis, shout outs, my boy. So overall, it was a really good weekend in fights. This weekend, this one hits home. This one's going to hurt. The final walk of Dustin the Diamond Poirier. What an insane career he's had. Fought for the title a few times. Interim champ. Let's just look at this guy's record. Holy smokes. So we're going to go from the UFC. First UFC fight was in 2011. Okay, so you got Jason Young, Pablo Garza, Max Holloway, Jung Young Sung, Korean Zombie, Jonathan Brooks, Cub Swanson, Eric Koch, Diego Brandao, Conor McGregor, Carlos Diego Ferreira, Yancy Medeiros, Joseph Duffy, Bobby Green, Michael Johnson, Jim Miller, Eddie Alvarez, Anthony Pettis, Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez, Max Holloway, Habib Nurmagomedov, Dan Hooker, Conor McGregor, Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, Benoit Saint Denis, Islam Makhachev. Talk about a resume. Dustin Poirier, you've done it all, man. It's going to hurt to see you walk away, but you've done it all. You fought the who's who's. You know, you never got popped. You never had controversy outside of the ring. You're always a good person. He has his foundation. That's how fighters should do. You know, it seems like he's living pretty well and ready to retire. So let's get into the card. Jimmy Crutes on there, Ryan Spann, Kyler Phillips, Brendan Allen, Marvin Vittori. There's some good fights. So on the main card, we got Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zahuber. Daniel's an up-and-comer. I think they're kind of just giving him a big name to make a big finish off of. I'm taking him by TKO, probably second round. You got Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. I'm going with Dan Ige. I think Dan Ige is just way too much of a dog. I don't think Patricio will be able to take him down. He's not going to outstrike him. The UFC is not giving that boy any easy fights. I'm going with Dan Ige, unanimous decision. You got Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez. Jeesh. I'm going Kevin Holland. He's been on fire. D-Rod's been doing good as well lately, but I'm going with Kevin Holland, unanimous decision. You got Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopelev. We're going with Paulo. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's tough, actually. Probably going with Roman Kopelev by unanimous decision. Paulo's just one of those guys. If he doesn't really catch the big shots, he just kind of hangs in there. He's tough, but I don't know, entertaining to a degree. For me, it's not entertaining when guys just hang in there. You know, he always looks exhausted by the second, third round. It's been a while, so we'll see what he brings. And in the main event for the BMF title, the last dance, Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus Max Holloway. The third time these guys fought. I think Dustin gets another unanimous decision. I'm hoping that Holloway doesn't catch him with one of these like Gaethje style punches where he just wings a big shot. You know what I mean? Dustin might be down to throw those last 10 seconds of his career. It's also hard to beat the guy, same guy 3 times, unless you absolutely had his number, which at 45, I believe that was Max's first fight in the UFC. At 55, it was kind of on short notice. So this is the first time where Holloway is actually a 55er. Does father time come into play? I'm not too sure. Definitely an interesting fight. Gonna be entertaining. I think it's fitting for his last fight. He didn't want to fight some random up-and-comer. He didn't want to fight someone who wasn't worthy of it. Max bless Holloway. We could go on and on about his resume, the type of man he is and stuff. So it'll definitely be an entertaining send-off fight. I'm going Dustin the Diamond Poirier by unanimous decision. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. I've actually seen Dustin live. I saw him in his fight when Conor broke his leg. I saw that one live, so that was a hell of a fight card. Dustin, thank you so much. Hell of a career. We'll probably do a special later in the week. Of course, after the fights, we'll break it down. And man, yeah, it's one of those things where last of a dying breed, a true fighter's fighter. Nothing but respect. Always brought it. Always came to fight. Always in shape, you know. So shout outs to DP. Now, fight coming up. I heard that allegedly Hamzat might be injured. If this guy is injured and pulls out another fight again, it's like, I get they gave him the title, but man, I'm just saying if, he's very inconsistent. Dana usually doesn't like stuff like that, whether it's missing weight, getting injured. It is what it is. Pulling cards when there's a lot of hype and promotion put into it, he never likes that. So we'll see if it's true or not. The BKFC presser. Goodness gracious. What a time to be alive. 2025. Conor McGregor is his WWE style promoter. On blowy, you know, just yelling at people, chanting stuff. I mean, he is just having the time of his life. Mike Perry calls him out. He said, buddy, you will entertain me. You will fight when you're told. We have a fight coming up for you. Do as you're told. Like, just absolutely crazy. You know, it was just, you know, UFC doesn't really do that kind of entertainment. It was kind of WWE-esque. They're letting everybody talk trash, kind of mayhem. Conor, you could just tell, is on that booger sugar. It's just hilarious to sit back and look at. They announced some pretty big signings. You had Yoel Romero, Thiago Santos, Derek Brunson, Aspen Ladd, and former boxing champion Jamel Herrick. So those are some pretty good signings. I mean, for the most part, they're all kind of older in life. I mean, especially Yoel's like 47. Santos got to be like 40. Brunson almost 40. It's interesting. I mean, BKFC obviously must, bust out the bag, but again, that stuff is nothing to play with. So we'll see what happens. I don't think BKFC, I think they're kind of like UFC in the sense of they give them pretty big, tough fights right away. So we'll see how that goes. Saturday night, there was a pretty big BKFC card. So many fights, I couldn't watch all of it. I believe it was the co-main event. Buddy must have been getting hit so hard, his ear almost ripped off. It ended up being stopped and being called a no contest. And then they ended up reviewing it, I guess, just Sunday and giving it to the guy who was knocking the ear off. So it's pretty crazy. Look it up. His ear was literally almost off. I don't know how that happens from bare knuckle. That is definitely some punches right there. So pretty crazy. There's this viral video going around. Busta Rhymes is in the studio. His new artist is playing some new music for him. It's absolutely terrible. Busta can't fake it. He looks disappointed. He looks disgusted. It's absolutely hilarious. He doesn't even try and rock with it. You'll have to check it out. He's just, you could tell he's like, what the hell? Yeah, also, you guys want a good laugh. There was an NHL player. I'm not an NHL, fan or anything, so I don't really know. He's on a golf course. He was trying to play through on this hole. This drunk guy's going off on him, tries to fight him. He literally throws him into a lake, punches him around, throws him like a rag doll. I mean, it couldn't be more embarrassing. If your lady's seen that, she's probably going to leave you. The dude was a drunk idiot, got absolutely whooped. Check it out. Just type in NHL player, like golf course fight. It'll pull it up. I was like, goodness gracious. Now let's talk about this streamer beef. We had DDG and his crew, and then it was Reggie and his crew. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I really think it's like just for views and clout. I mean, they're really kind of crossing the line. Kai and his team come and jump in. They're blowing up houses. They're so financially well. They have security. But I believe it was like Kai who kind of sent Reggie and all these guys to Dominican Republic, and then they blew up their house with fireworks and spray painted it and destroyed it. It's getting a little out of hand where I'm like, damn, I don't know if it is, fake or not, but the way they are doing stuff and everybody's not acting too crazy, I think it's definitely for the views. But it's interesting to just see how much money these guys can either just blow or, for the beef. So definitely an interesting one. We'll see how that all kind of plays out. There's a video going around this guy. I mean, karma at his finest. This guy, I believe it was at the Galleria Mall in Houston. This guy goes into one of the luxury stores. He's a YouTuber. He's live streaming. He grabs a pair of sunglasses and he takes off. Now, the dumb part he did was he stayed at the mall hanging out. Security recognized him later. What does this guy do? He jumps off to jump into the ice ring and breaks both his legs. Goodness gracious, guys. For a $700 pair of sunglasses and some views, this guy broke both his legs. Now he's in jail with 2 broken legs. I mean, what a disaster, guys. Don't be an idiot. Learn from how stupid that is and don't be like that, guys. YSL Woody was arrested for a street racing ring. Now, if this guy gets away with that, I'm like, this guy gets away with everything. I don't. The still snitching thing is like, did he snitch on purpose? Did he snitch in a good way? I don't know. Snitching is snitching. I haven't really paid attention to it. Now he's involved in this. He's on those 20 versus ones. They're pretty funny. So he's definitely a character. It's just crazy to see people always getting into stuff. Randy Couture was recently in like a racing accident. Looked like actual like racing. He was getting started doing a practice run. Something happened. So prayers to him. Hopefully he's okay. Ben Askren posted a video, just kind of updating everybody. Man, shout outs to him. It is so sad how everything kind of went so bad for him health wise. It's amazing that he's still here. They say it's a 33% chance that you survive something like that as far as the lung transplant. So hopefully he keeps progressing. It's cool to see him talk and interact. Hopefully he keeps bouncing back. Prayers to him. It came out that supposedly Jake Paul paid for some of his surgery. The Tate brothers, Dana White addressed after the press conference Saturday night that he chipped some money towards something. Who knows? But if you have tons of money, that's what you should use it for, helping people who truly need it. Ben Askren is always a solid guy. Never did bad things. Great in the wrestling community. So hopefully he can make a full recovery or as best he can, man. Shout outs to you. I even saw the video actually of Masvidal after all their beef and everything like that, sending a video to him, calling him a warrior, wishing him the best of luck. So that was really cool to see. Now the Epstein case comes out. There's no client list. It was a suicide. That's pretty crazy, guys. I don't get into controversy and conspiracies and stuff, but it's like, guys, you've told us several times this person's on that list. You're going to release it this day, all this stuff. And now it's just like, nope, there's no tape. It's a suicide. There's no lit. Like, that is crazy, guys. You should have just told us that the files got erased. Or, I mean, that is just to be like, nope, it never happened after you guys been telling us and leading us on and telling us it's going to be released this day. That, I mean, that is just crazy. If people can't realize that and how bad that is, what else are they hiding from us? What else do they sweep under the rug? Mind blowing for sure. Pretty good episode this week, guys. Obviously, the fights from this past weekend were awesome. The boxing card, the UFC card. This weekend coming up, the Last Dance, a banger of a card, UFC 318, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. Pretty close to DP's hometown in Louisiana. Close to it. I don't know where exactly the venue is. Gonna be a hell of a card. He's had a hell of a career. We had some interesting current topics for the week. Gonna end on the message of the week, guys. No one's coming to save you. Money's not gonna fall at your feet. You have to dedicate. You have to sacrifice. You have to lock in. You got to miss out on some things to get where you want to be. You got to be okay with doing stuff for a year, 2 years, and seeing no results and just keep chipping away and know that it's coming. No one is coming to save you. And I really see people just waiting for good thing to happen. Good things happen to good people when they're out there chasing opportunities. All right. Remember that, guys. You're capable of anything, but it does take work, and anybody can do anything. I truly appreciate all the support, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Keep running up the channel. Episode 20 of the Daily Dose podcast. We'll see you guys next week.